let's talk about rejection in relationships.
Sure, I think this is one of the most painful ones.
Yeah, no. This one is rough.
This one cuts deep. Because it's not like family. Family, they hurt you, you love each other, you get back together again.
Right.
Even friends, you have ups and downs. You bicker here and there, you make up. But when it comes to relationships, like,
it's personal.
It is.
Right.
It's personal, like for real. Do you have any rejection stories maybe that you want to share? Or have you ever, obviously you've been rejected before in a relationship.
All I'm saying is, can I tell you something? Yeah? All I'm saying is, nice when you reject people, but when it's your turn to be rejected in a relationship.
Can I tell you? It happened to me. So it was way back. I think maybe I was like 20, 21, somewhere there. And I was dating a really great guy. Like, really take notes because this can happen to you, babe.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be caught slipping. So I was dating this really great guy, but like he was fantastic. The guy, he was good looking. He took care of me. Like, when you're 20 and he doesn't even really have a job. So maybe his mom was giving him money and obviously here or there, you'd hustle. You know how it is.
Yeah, you guys would go to the movies.
Yeah, hindsight, I never actually really knew where he got his money from. But he's young, so obviously I suppose it was like allowance or something. But the fact that he actually even kept allowance for me.
That's so adorable.
That's already special. Already I'm like, wow, why am I not with this man? Where is he? Let me call him up. And he did everything for me. Like, I never lacked anything. Even like after school, like we'd meet up, he'd get me chocolates, and all of my friends would be jealous. So,
He was really sweet.
Yeah, he was like really, really, really sweet. And so that was like the end of high school. And then then we started varsity. So it was like maybe a year or two, maybe 2 or 3 year relationship, let me say. I can't really remember how long it was, but I know there was a transition from high school to varsity.
Right.
Then when I got to varsity, things started to look better. Nice. Things were looking nice. I was like, okay now, things are looking new. And so now I got attracted to this other guy. So now you imagine I have this other guy who is just, I couldn't floor him. Like I couldn't say, oh my gosh, he did this to me. I don't like him. He was perfect, guys. Like even in 2024, he's like a perfect guy.
Right.
So obviously now, new space. Obviously now we're new, we're twins, we're getting attention. I'm loving the attention, we're loving the attention. And there's just new things were happening because matric is not the same as university. You have so much more freedom when you're in university.
Right.
You get to hang out in different spaces. You actually feel, it's when you're like an adult now because remember now you're in charge. You no longer have teachers to check on you or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a new environment and there's a new guy and I'm thinking now when I compare specs, the guy from high school doesn't really kind of match up to the guy, to the new guy in university because now I'm being introduced to new things now. Now I'm traveling.
The new things are always shinier. They're always shinier.
Now I'm traveling. Now I'm meeting different types of people. I'm meeting like people from like all over the world. It's fun. I'm like, whoa, okay, I like this. This is perfection for me. Now I have to go tell the other guy because I'm not a player.
Other guy, you mean your boyfriend? Your boyfriend at the time is not the other guy. Go me, guy. Go me.
So now I have to go tell, my boyfriend. I can't even see it now. Your boyfriend. I have to go tell my boyfriend that, look, I found someone else because I'm not a player. I don't want to like put him through that. You know what I mean? Because he was sweet to me and I didn't feel like, I didn't know how to be a player because I didn't know how to juggle them both. Like I just knew that that wasn't just going to work for me because it was so much more exciting on the other side anyway. So I was like, no, I got to cut ties. Cut ties with him. And guys, when I tell you, like, he begged me, like, over the phone, because I just felt
you
like...
broke up with him over the phone. Who are you?
I didn't have taxi money.
Okay.
So I didn't have money for a taxi because I would have preferred rather to go see him.
Right.
So I was like, okay, cool. It's going to have to be over the phone. Mm-hmm. It is what it is.
Landline that time, I'm sure.
It is a landline. So it's like a long cord. Now I take the cord, I have to go to the room, close the door and make this call. And it was like one of the hardest calls I've ever had to make. It was so sad. He cried. He cried. He cried so hard. Like, he cried. He was like, why? Let's make it work. Please, can we just try? And I was like, I was just like, I can't. And I couldn't tell him that there was somebody else. I just said, no, like, you know, it's the new school.
It's too much pressure on me.
I'm trying to be great at school. I need to study, you know, and I couldn't.
I have to focus on my books.
Like, you know what I mean? So anyway, I ended it. Should I tell you the long version of the story?
This is the long version of the story.
So now me and this guy, now we're full force. Because
the
new guy now.
Okay.
So I can call him the new guy, but I can't say other guy. Anyway, so now the other guy is gone. New guy, it's going strong, guys. Concerts, festivals, we're in there. We're doing this thing, it's fun. But remember now I'm in it, guys, because I've never experienced these things before.
Right.
I'm seeing new things, it's nice. We're having a great time. It's perfection. And I think maybe a year and a half later, I think it was his birthday. I'm even getting choked up.
You may want to drink something. Oh, man.
I can't believe the audacity. It was his birthday, and he knew, like, okay, it's his birthday. So I'm planning the birthday. I'm planning things like, okay, we're going to go to this restaurant. So I'm calling, I'm booking, calling his friends. This is what we're going to do. This is where we're hanging out. And you know how it is, girls. We don't just, us women don't take 30 minutes to get ready. His birthday is coming up. I have an outfit like a month in advance. So the day of his birthday comes. Now I've planned everything, the restaurants, friends lined up, everything. And then he's like, outfit, I'm snatched now. Like,
looking good.
I got my, what do you call it, my half wig.
Yeah.
Remember that half wig that we used to wear?
It's where
you put your wig halfway and then you put your natural hair on top
push
of
it back.
And you push it back and it's got like a flip up. What was that?
It's the early
But
2000s.
let me tell you, I was hot, guys. Yeah. That hairstyle was the bomb.com.
You were, because I had the same wig.
That wig gave. So there I am giving. Then he's like, okay, cool, I'll pick you up. I'm excited. He picks me up. We drive off. We go to the lake. It's beautiful. There's ducks. We're feeding the ducks. I'm like, why are we here? We should be going to your birthday. He was like, I've got something to tell you.
Was it your turn now?
No, it was my turn.
It was my turn. Medicine.
Flakes. I don't think you understand. Now remember, at least me, I was better because it was over the phone. You see, when it's over the phone, it's better. But to have someone look you in the face and tell you, like...
Yeah, and you're like 20, 21. Yeah, it's painful.
To really like look you in the face. There's darks. It's a beautiful day. The sky is blue. The clouds are making shapes. You know, like that perfect day.
It's perfection.
Yes. I'm dressed to the gods, basically, you know. And he just told me straight, like, to my face. Like, he was like,
you're not coming to my birthday party. You see the party that I planned?
Yeah, basically.
You're not coming. So.
Yeah. The worst thing is, I'm thinking to myself, look, but he told me, he's like, hey, Ntando, look, we've had a great time. And I've just come to the realization that I'm going to a new varsity now. What? Those same words that I was using.
Oh, my God.
Same words, because he was actually going to another university.
Yeah, he was leaving.
Yeah. And I just remember this playing out like, wow, I can't believe this is now happening to me, and how painful it is, like, but like on the real. And let me tell you what that rejection did to me, because it had me hurt for a very long time, and I didn't even realize it, because now I became this person with such a hardened heart because I had been rejected before. Now remember, I'm 20 then, I'm 40 now. That was like 20 years ago, but it's taken this whole journey for me to realize that I was actually rejecting guys. So I wanted to be in a relationship. Sorry.
Oh, this thing hit you hard.
No, I'm over it now. I know. But yeah, so even after that, I still wanted to be in relationships. I still wanted to get married. I wanted that. But my biggest flaw was that I wouldn't let guys come close to me.
Right.
So I'd be in a relationship, but they wouldn't know anything about me. And I wouldn't let them cross a certain level of intimacy, like, you know. And I remember just not being fully there. And I'd be so quick to break up with people. Like, if I didn't like the way he just dressed that day, like maybe he'll pick me up I'd get picked up for a date, and maybe his shoes are weird and they looked wrong. In my heart, I'd be like, you know, I deserve better than a guy who has these wrong shoes. Like, no, it's just, no, I don't want this, you know? And I remember there was one specific guy who told me this. He told me that I was full of myself. This was years ago, though. I mean, it's not a recent story now, but I'll never forget this guy. He said I was full of myself. And not only was I full of myself, he said I was selfish. And he said I was closed off.
Right.
But when he said this to me, instead of trying to be better and instead of trying to do better, I gave him an attitude. Like,
this is who I am. It's what you spoke about earlier.
Yeah, so instead of actually trying to see things from his perspective and hear where he was coming from, I kind of, what do you call it? I withdrew even further and went on to tell him that I'm not self-centered. If you just did things my way, then everything would be okay. And yeah, like, do everything I say.
I never had to date you.
dude. So it was like, no, do everything I say that you must do, and believe me, this relationship is going to be okay. Which further proved my self-centeredness, which further proved my selfishness, which further proved everything that he told me. And I'll never forget him, because he was really so brave to tell me that, because I had never been told that before. You know why? Because other people were afraid to tell me because they knew how I would react. And he told me anyway. He had the guts to actually stand up to me and tell me. And instead of actually doing the work, I went and turned it around and I broke up with him. And not only did I break up with him, I broke up with him so horribly, I blocked him. It was almost like I was like, he was dead to me. Right. You know what I mean? And that was like one of the most horrible things that I've ever done to anybody. But in my healing process, what God did for me, Shakes, like, not only did I get a taste of my own medicine, but you know what God did to me?
What?
In my wilderness season, when I started praying to God and I started asking God to bring me friends, and I started to pray to God to bring me a life partner, God did bring those people to me. He would bring me friends and he'd bring me prospects, right? Because remember, everybody that comes into your life is for a reason or a season, right?
Right.
Or for a lifetime. So like for a stint, I'd have people come into my life, but God would make them super attractive, just enough for me to kind of get attached, just enough. Not to get soul tied, but just enough to get me attracted to them. And then guess what? I would find out as soon as I started to attach, they were just like me, but not the new me, the old me.
Oh my gosh.